Hi, good evening. You know what? I would have preferred to dress like a lot of you all than wear all this stuff here. Unfortunately, I had to go for another meeting where I need to dress like this. So you'll forgive me for not wearing the right clothes. I'm really pleased to see so many of you. I can see some faces I saw this morning. And I'm glad you're here. Not just because I like seeing you again, and I'm glad you're here at this Emerging Leaders session. Because to me, the idea of service is essential not only to leadership, but also to live a life of faith. In 1893, 122 years ago, Swami Vivekananda, a monk from India, traveled to Chicago from Calcutta to speak at this very first Parliament of Religions. He spoke of Hinduism, and that's why I'm telling you about him, because I'm also a Hindu. We both belong to the same faith. He spoke of the idea of tolerance, of universalism, of the acceptance of all faiths as equal, each holding the same claim to truth. He spoke of the immense, dazzling variety of the world's religions as simply different paths, each one winding according to its own choosing, but each one finally leading to the same goal, service to the divine. At that time, in that place, this idea was quite revolutionary. But a few short years later, in that same city of Chicago, another man, an American, a Christian this time, spoke of some of these same ideas. His audience was small. His voice was quiet, but his thoughts no less radical. This man, his name was Paul Harris, shared the belief that all religions were equally valid and that the trappings of tradition and observance were merely trappings, while their essence remained the same. He spoke of measuring others by their deeds, not by their creeds. He valued friendship above dogma, kindness above conviction. He saw the entire world with all its inhabitants as a beautiful gift, belonging equally to all, given by God, along with the duty for caring for it and for each other. In this, without knowing it, he echoed the teachings of Vivekananda's own guru, Ramakrishna, saying that all living beings were an embodiment of the divine self, and that therefore service to God could be rendered by service to mankind. In 1905, Paul Harris founded not a religion, not a place of worship, but he founded the first Rotary Club, thereby beginning the Rotary movement that grew and spread year after year, decade after decade, nation after nation. Today, there are no fewer than 34,000 Rotary clubs with over 1.2 million members in 200 countries and geographical areas. And I am here this evening as their representative. I realize that in this forum, I am possibly a round peg in a square hole, for Rotary is really not a religion. Neither does it replace a religion, but it certainly complements it. It elevates our faith even as it elevates us. It allows us the chance to truly serve the divine, indeed, reclaiming the heart of our humanity by serving those who are in the greatest need. You could, of course, say, so what is so profound about this concept of service? After all, service is simple. Service is simply charity. And this is an idea common to every religion. As the great sage Hillel said, love your neighbor as yourself, the rest is commentary. But what makes Rotary unique is that it is a framework in which we serve others, not with, not through, despite our religion, but in parallel to it. In Rotary, you can have a dozen faiths in one room. In Rotary, every religion is respected. Every tradition is welcomed. Every conviction is honored. We have only one caveat, and that is our faith may never be permitted to divide us, can only unite us. For in Rotary, you see, we come together in friendship and we are bonded by one thread, the thread of service. And the power of service to unite people has been proven over the last 110 years to be extraordinary, because service to others provides a bridge. It gives people a way to come together, a reason to work together, whatever their differences or their debates. When it is for the common good, the good of their community, their children's future, people begin to cooperate in ways that would simply be seen as impossible in some other context. And the result of this are quite literally changing the world. 3 decades ago, we were already a very large international organization, having tens of thousands of clubs, hundreds of thousands of members, and having completed some very serious, very ambitious service already. We had, of course, countless clubs and projects that provided water, sanitation, nutrition, education to all those who needed it. We had built schools, we had built hospitals, we had built houses. Yes, we had done a great deal of projects of this nature. But the time had come for us to aim higher, to find a project that would unite Rotarians everywhere in the world, in the whole world, in the pursuit of one single shared goal. The goal we chose was the total global eradication of polio, making polio only the second disease after smallpox to be completely eradicated or removed from the earth. At that time, in 1985, there were 125 countries in the world where polio was an active threat. About 1,000 children were either paralyzed or were being killed every single day. All this, even though there was a vaccine that was cheap, that was effective, and that could have been easily administered. We thought, what excuse have we got for not trying? What excuse have we got for not making this effort? And we had no excuse. And last month, 30 years later, several billions of dollars later, the last country in Africa with wild polio stopped transmission of this disease. We now have only 2 countries left, sharing the one remaining reservoir of wild polio virus across one border, the border of Afghanistan and Pakistan. And we have every reason to be optimistic that in a very short while, these 2 countries as well will see their last case. And you know what? The most incredible thing about all this, beyond the obvious, beyond this colossal achievement of completely eradicating a disease that has plagued humanity for millennia, the incredible thing about it is not just that it is being done, not just that it is so close to being done. The incredible thing about it is how it was being done. The level of cooperation, the optimism, the commitment, the ability, the willingness, the desire of so many people in every country in the world, of every faith, of every color, from every background, rich and poor, to join us in this work. The number of partners who have joined us along the way, the governments, the local health authorities, the Gates Foundation, the UNICEF, the World Health Organization, and all those health workers who got out and risked their lives, who searched the hills and the jungles and the deserts for every last child, all of them united in pursuit of this one goal, a world without polio, a world with a little bit less of fear, a world with much more hope. And because at the end of the day, how can we say that we are God-fearing men and women? How can we even say that we serve God if we do not do our best to take care of all God's creations? For my friends, God's work on earth must be done by all of his people on earth. It must be done by every one of us. If we fail in that, we fail in the task we were placed here to do. We fail in our humanity. And so, whatever religion all of you represent here in this forum, however you conceive of God, of service, of charity, of our responsibility to each other, I ask you all to remember that God is not up there. God is down here. He is with us. He is in us, in all of us here. And whatever you do for the least of us here down below, you do for him above. Thank you.